Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, is one of the greatest prophets in Islam, born in the city of Ur, located in Mesopotamia. In his time, idol worship was widespread, and his father Azar was one of the idol makers. From a young age, Ibrahim began to question the meaning of life and the existence of the Creator. He saw his people prostrating to idols, but his heart was not at peace with that. The search for truth. Ibrahim began to think and reflect, observing the stars, the moon, and the sun. When one of them disappeared, he realized that these celestial bodies were not gods. Through his contemplation, he discovered the one God and began to call his people to worship him. His call was met with rejection and mockery, but his faith remained steadfast. Challenging the idols, Ibrahim decided to expose the falsehood of idol worship. He broke all the idols in his people's temple, leaving one idol holding an axe. When his people came, they accused him of breaking the idols and asked him who did it. He sarcastically replied, "Ask them if they can speak." This was proof that the idols possessed nothing. Thrown into the fire, the people were enraged and threw him into the fire. However, Allah saved him by a miracle, commanding the fire to be cool and safe for him. Ibrahim remained in the midst of the fire unharmed, which amazed many. Migration to Palestine. After this incident, Ibrahim decided to migrate to Palestine. He settled there with his wife Sarah, but they faced difficulties in having children. Sarah asked Ibrahim to marry Hagar, her maid, hoping he might have a child with her. Birth of Ismail. Hagar gave birth to her son Ismail, and Ibrahim was delighted by his arrival. However, after some time, Sarah gave birth to her son Isaac, leading to conflicts between Hagar and Sarah. Sarah asked Ibrahim to send Hagar and her son away, and he obeyed his Lord's command, taking them to a valley with no vegetation. The great test. Ibrahim was then commanded to sacrifice Ismail as a test of his faith. Ismail showed deep obedience and was ready to submit to Allah's command. Before he could sacrifice him, Allah redeemed him with a great ram, making this incident a symbol of sacrifice and faith. Building the Kaaba. Afterward, Ibrahim was commanded to build the Kaaba in Mecca with his son Ismail. The Kaaba became a house of worship expressing the oneness of Allah, and he called people to pilgrimage and Umrah. The ongoing call. Ibrahim continued to call people to worship Allah, demonstrating patience and determination. His message was eternal, earning him the title Khalilullah, friend of Allah, due to his closeness to Allah and obedience. The great legacy. Ibrahim passed away after leaving a great legacy as the father of prophets, being considered the grandfather of both Ismail and Isaac. His mention continues in the Holy Quran, serving as a role model for believers in faith and patience. Conclusion of the story. The story of Ibrahim embodies the meanings of obedience, faith, and sacrifice. His journey is not just a historical tale but a call to reflect on the meaning of life and the worship of the one God.